We're celebrating the Tercentenary of the medical school here today, and it's a particularly historic event for any medical school, but particularly for Trinity College. Tercentenary is an opportunity to look back at our history, but also, very much more importantly, to look forward to our future. If we go back to the 19th century, you had the golden age of Irish medicine. You will come across Denis Burkitt, who was a wonderful Irish physician who discovered a condition called Burkitt's lymphoma, and in doing so identified the most important link between viruses and the causation of cancer, something that became very much more important as the 20th century progressed. If you look at the exhibit, you'll see that the textbooks on how to use a stethoscope were first written here in Dublin.
While we are joining with the medical school in celebrating their centenary, their tricentenary, we also like to show off our own collections. We have very excellent special collections in the library, the early printed books collections and the manuscripts and archives collection. So we're taking this opportunity really to show off anything we have that looks good, relates to Irish medicine. We try to find a place for it. While we do have first editions of, say, Vesalius, which is included in the exhibition, and it's a fabulous thing to own, and we have some of the really key textbooks written by the members of what would be called the golden age of Irish medicine, Graves and Corrigan and so on. You are talking about medical science, and we are, remember, in competition with the Long Room, which is such a fabulous interior that it's almost like a battle plan. When you're presented with an exhibition theme, you think to yourself, okay, how am I going to win the battle for minds and hearts against the Long Room? Because people coming into this room, they're going to look up. They look up all the time. That's the first thing they do. They look up and they point. And you spend 6 weeks, 6 months preparing an exhibition, and you want them to look down at the table case. We do have a tiny child's skull, which is an educational tool, which shows childish dentition at a time when there are no MRIs, there are no X-rays. You have to show students how the teeth are formed. But if you think that's gruesome, then it's gruesome. I in fact think it's astonishingly beautiful, and I could look at it all day. In 1711, when the medical school was built, the 3 new professors appointed were anatomy, chemistry and botany. So of course you want those to be involved. So I go down to anatomy and I hat in hand and say, what have you that we could put in our exhibition? And they say, have you met Cornelius McGrath? He was 7'2", he weighed about 30 stone. He exhibited himself, that was his job, that was how he earned his keep in London and mainland Europe. And he died in Dublin in 1760. And he is a thing of beauty. He is visually stimulating, he is intellectually stimulating. He summarises all we are trying to convey with this exhibition, which is that things happened, time passes, we improve, and we celebrate how we get better. There's something here for everybody, whether you're interested in instruments, surgical instruments, if you're interested in maps, if you're interested in early books, illustrations, manuscripts. It's never a chore to come into the Long Room, so people have 2 reasons to come here, and 2 excellently good reasons to come here, and I hope they come and enjoy themselves.
The only thing you can say about the future is that it will be different. But medical science we've become impatient with medical science. We've come to the point where we expect that it will deliver in the next 5 years and the next 10 years. But I think if you're looking at with a crystal ball over the next few hundred years, I think what we're going to see is a knowledge that will allow us to treat people individually right down to the level of their individual molecules. And that is going to be challenging, not just from a scientific perspective, but also from an ethical perspective, because it throws up all kinds of complex ethical issues.